So David, final home game of the season, final home game for you as well. I think it's a difficult one to probably talk about, I suppose, but ultimately we've said it quite a few times in interviews in the past, and especially on big games like this, and it's a local derby. It was two really good sides going at each other and trying to get a game, but just pure entertainment for the neutrals today.
A really good game of football. The weather helped. I think that rain made the pitch a little bit slicker. I thought Stalybridge started unbelievably well. You could see they were playing for something. The save that Finn made after 4 minutes. Well, first Eric ended off the line, and Finn making an unbelievable save to turn it onto the bar. Showed how well they started. I thought we struggled to get into the game initially. Then we came into it, and I thought Bruce had a great chance, great piece of football, where we 3 or 4 passes and opened up, and Bruce just pulled it wide. And then there was a lot of good football, a lot of huffing and puffing, but not many clear-cut chances in the first half. Second half, I thought we were better. I thought we were the better side. I thought we had 5 good chances and scored 2 of them. I thought the referee got the result he wanted. I thought he was excellent in changing his mind in 85 minutes around what constituted a foul. I spoke to him about that, and I completely disagree with that. That was a foul. That was body-to-body contact for a penalty. That isn't a foul. I hadn't given a foul for 30 or 40 of those. Mepp and Walters did nothing but that when he came on the pitch after 25 minutes. And we said to the players in here, we couldn't have asked anything more from you. We asked you to go and pay back the fans who stood behind you through thick, thin and thinner throughout this season. And they did. I thought everyone was a 7, 8, 9 out of 10 today. I thought they were superb. I thought work rate, effort, quality. I thought we were the better side, deserved a win. A little bit of composure maybe. We might have seen it to 3-1. Slightly better decision making. But the keeper made a couple of excellent saves at 2-0 and at 2-all. But the reality is we got robbed by a referee who for some reason decided he wanted to change his mind around what constituted a foul and couldn't wait to give a free kick. And it's disappointing. Thankfully, I'm out of it. I don't have to have weekends ruined by referees anymore from next season. But the standard is absolutely atrocious. The fact that both benches are moaning about a referee tells you everything you need to know, and it's only getting worse.
2 really good goals today as well. Eric's first one from the header, from the corner, and then I guess the moment before, a bit of brilliance from Obbs to win the corner as well. Just a great save on that.
We said to Obbs at half time that he was really causing the fullback problems, and to get it and drive, and it was great footwork, it was great power, and a really good strike and a really good save from Charlie Monk as well. It was, he was going towards the top corner, and he did really well, strong wrist to keep that out. And then a great delivery from Joe Burks and a header from Eric. It was very similar to the Bootle goal. And for all that Eric hasn't scored the goals we would have liked him to score this year, he probably hasn't had the service that we would like him to have at times, and he's brilliant at that. I mean, if you look at Eric today, he scored that one, but he probably won 3 or 4 headers in our box as well. He's so strong in the air.
Yeah.
It was a great header. Second goal, pass from Teddy was perfect. It was the weight of pass and the timing of that. He released it. And the point that Sean went through, you thought no one's catching him. The energy he showed today, I genuinely think he's got 3 lungs. He was everywhere. For me, he was man of the match today. I thought he took his goal really well, but I thought he closed things down. He caused problems. He was driving from deep, and he showed a lot of composure to nick it around the keeper and roll it in. And it was almost a match winner in the 92nd minute. And I don't actually know how he dug out that. 1, I don't know if he found the energy from that, because he looked done after 80 minutes. And 2, the acrobatics to get an overhead kick in, and it was some save. It was some save. And the combination of the keeper's fingertips and the hill, I think, kept that out. But he'd have been a worthy match winner, and a win would have been the right result as far as I'm concerned today.
I was just going to say that minute, I think it's 95 minutes where it comes over and no one's expecting Sean to do something, and it is a brilliant save from Charlie Monks. But did you just think it was one of them where it was a destined to be a goal moment?
When he left his foot, I thought it's in, and just somehow Monks rearranged his feet, got back, got an arm to it, and it was an unbelievable save. Finn made one in the first half, he made one then, and that's what goalkeepers are there for. But like they're big moments, and I think both goalkeepers stood up in big moments there. And actually, if you look across the pitch, I think both managers would probably say that the players stood up in big moments. We've talked about them in match winners today. We have people who have done. The only person who crumbled in a big moment was wearing black.
So yeah, I guess the next question really is, we've just been in the bar, we've had quite a few presentations, including for yourself, but outside of that one presentation today that probably means a lot to most people at the club was Mark Lee's picking up his 100th appearance for the football club. He's been, I guess, a bit of a revelation in terms of not just his ability to play different positions, but his qualities as a man, and he's just a great man and a great leader. So just a few words on Mark.
I've talked about Mark a lot this season, but he is an unbelievable person. He's an excellent footballer, we knew that. I knew Mark from when he was an 18-year-old now. My last season at Curzon, he was coming through the youth teams and played a couple of games with him, and you know how good a footballer he is. What I hadn't appreciated until Mark signed back for the club was what a great person he is. He will go out of his way to do things and do the right thing for people. I know that he speaks to players constantly. I know that he's that conduit between management and the players. He kind of gets the club more than I think most players do. He understands that togetherness. He understands the importance of community. He understands the importance of the fans. There were two players who were the last two in after the game today, and it's him and Teddy. And I think Teddy was stood talking to his parents. In fairness to Teddy, and that's fine. A young player finding a way in the game. I understand why that would be. Mark, I'm pretty sure, will be talking to fans and kids and doing all those things. Probably gave away about 5 armbands, and he just gets it. He fundamentally gets it. And if I want an opinion on anything, Mark's the person I will go to. He really understands football. He really understands the club. He really understands the players. He's a superb captain, superb bloke. Proud to have been able to manage him for a couple of seasons. Look forward to him hopefully having a few more. He's fit as a fiddle at his age. His dedication. I'll miss the WhatsApps every day showing me his 20k on the bike and his weight sessions that he does every morning. But that's why he's got the longevity he has, and why he's still doing what he does at his age, which I think he will argue is like 33. I think he's maybe 43, but he's an unbelievable role model. If you want to look at, I think Steve Paul referred to him as the ultimate professional, semi-professional. If you want to look at somebody, if you want a career in non-league football, if you want to be successful in non-league football, take a leaf out of Mark's book. You won't go far wrong.
Definitely, and he's been a player who's been around, and I think he was just before. I think he left just as you came in, and I think you said at the time you tried to keep hold of him at the time.
I tried so hard to keep hold of Mark, and the reality was he's a player who'd been around a long time, and quite rightly commanded a certain level of pay, and he could get that elsewhere, and there was no way we could compete with that. But he was very gracious in the conversation we had and how much he loved the club. And I know he spoke to Steve Pawson when he left as well, and he felt it was the right thing for him to do and speak to Steve, who he already had a relationship with, and that's a mark of the man. And when I spoke to him when things had moved on and we could kind of meet somewhere in the middle, he was superb in terms of all that conversations, and at no point has he ever tried to hold us out for an extra 10 or 20 quid, and I'm sure he could have gone and got that and more somewhere else. He very much bought into what we were trying to do, and the conversation I had with Mark weren't really about pound notes. They were about what we wanted to do as a club, what I saw his role as, what I wanted him to be, and why it was important to me, and that's what Mark's about. He's a real leader. He's a really good bloke. I hope he has many more years at Mossley, and I fear that Mark, once he finishes playing, will drop away. And I've had that conversations with him around what he might do when he finishes playing, but I think he's still got a few years left in the tank.
Yeah. And you've touched on it a couple of times just there, around what we've built as a football club and as a group of people, as a board, as the manager, the staff. The game today was a good reflection on, I guess, on your time here in terms of two teams going at each other, and we never really gave up against a team who, on paper, should be better than us and should be beating us quite comfortably at home. But I guess the thing, we've just walked past the pitch after the game, and you've got Obs in net with loads of kids, and is that a good reflection of what you've built at the club and the time that you've spent here in terms of the sort of players that you've brought in?
I think it's a really good microcosm of what it's all about, and if you look at the last few weeks where G-Way's been suspended and he's been on the pitch with mascots before the game, setting up games for them, you've got Obs in goal there now. people who buy in and want to spend time, your kids having selfies, and I think the players understand how important the fans are, and we've been really big on this, in terms of really buying in, and the fans are the reason we're here, and the players thrive off that. I think they enjoy it, but they happily give up the time to go and have selfies, go and spend some time on the pitch, whatever it might be. The players are really bought into it, and that's one of the legacies I want to leave, that culture. And I talk a lot about, I'm so pleased that Alex is my successor. I think Alex 100% gets the club, 100% gets the club. He's been here every step of the way with me. He was first team coach, then assistant manager. He just understands what this club is all about. He wants to invest in it. He always has invested in everything that the club is about, and he will bring a lot of the same and some new. And I think we're probably at the point where we need some new and some fresh ideas, and confident Alex will kick on. And it's interesting you say that. This today sums up my time at the club. Really good performance, really good crowd, game we should have won, couple of chances that we should have perhaps taken and didn't, and spoiled by a man in black. I think I can find many examples of that in the last 5 seasons.
And it has been a rollercoaster 5 years. It's been touched on in the bar. You took over a club that was financially in a bad position. You were asked to do things and recruit a squad for next to nothing, and it's grown over time, and we've increased budgets, and been able to compete at a slightly better level than before, and you'd still class us as probably one of the minnows at this level. But you must leave sort of feeling a sense of pride in terms of we've come a long way, and we're set now. You've laid some foundations. Huge
amounts of pride. I'm gutted that we couldn't quite kick on. 2 seasons ago, we were knocking them out of the playoffs. Last season, we didn't get recruitment right. We didn't get the squad balance right. There were a number of things that we didn't get right. The rebuild in the summer, I thought, would have got us there. We were probably 10 goals away from being competing in the playoffs today. We were probably 10 goals away from being where Stalybridge were today.
Yeah.
And you can look at injuries, whatever that might be. But disappointing that we didn't really kick on from that. But if I look at the foundations we've laid, the fact that we think we should have been with this squad competing around the playoffs tells you where we've moved from and to. If you look at what we're known for now, if I talk to people in the game, we're known for bringing young players through. There's a catalogue of players we brought through. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the way the fan base has grown, and I think people who've come have enjoyed what we see. We play good football. We've got that connection with the fans. We've got players who invest in that, and you can see that's grown the fan base and fans home and away. Brought in some excellent coaches along the way, and you can see the impact they're having. Johnny, Phil, who I'm pretty certain will be staying on with Alex next year. I think that's brilliant to see. So there's loads I'm proud of. It was tough at first. It was really tough, and bringing players in from the counties, and it's a big step up for them. But a lot of them have kicked on and done well at this level, levels beyond. And if I kind of make a list of players I managed and look at where they are now, that's quite a nice legacy to have. So I'm massively pleased with what I've achieved. I think the platform's laid. I think the foundations are laid. I think the club can kick on now. I think the club can really go from strength to strength with what we've done together. I think Alex is the right man to do that.
And a couple of nice moments, I suppose, for you in terms of in the bar after the game. But I guess the one sort of mainstay throughout your time here has been the fans, and we'll come on to those in a second, and I'll ask you about them in a sec. But was it, I guess, we've done the presentations in the bar, and most of the Celtic players have gone home after they've had the food and enjoyed the evening with the club and what have you. But one player that stayed afterwards was JB. Must have been a bit of a nice moment for you, as probably he was the first sort of player that you brought in and sort of you almost moulded the team around him. So for him to sort of be there at the beginning and then stick around for the end must have been quite nice for you.
JB came to me as a 17, 18-year-old from Curzon 21s. He'd been very successful in that side. He hadn't quite made a breakthrough to Curzon, and when I took over at Chadderton, Mark Bradshaw, someone I'd played with, I spoke to him, and he was like, look, 3 or 4 players here I think will be brilliant for you in the councils who need to go and play out of football, and JB was one of those players. And he came in as a centre-half, and he played the first couple of games at centre-half, but for me that was never his position. He played a few games for me at right back, but for me he was a player who's played in the middle of the park and dictated play. So when I got the Mossley job, for me it was a no-brainer that JB would be a player to come with me. He'd briefly gone to Glossop at the start of the season before I came here. Not quite worked out for him, but I just knew what quality footballer he was, and you know, good family, good person, and that's why I kind of invested so much in him. I don't think he's quite kicked on as well as he could have. He's having a brilliant career, and I think there's more in the locker for him to do. But it was so pleasing that he was in there. His mum and dad were here as well, and it was nice to have that moment with him. And you know, he thanked me for everything I've done for him. And I said this to a couple of players today. I haven't done anything other than show a bit of faith, bit of trust. They've done everything themselves. They've got the talent. They've applied themselves. They've showed the hard work. But it was lovely that JB was in there, spending some time with his best mate as well. He's Mason's best mate, and like thick and thin, they're always together. So it was nice to see that as well, and always pleasing to see somebody going having a really good career who's played for me, whether that's at this level or levels higher.
And like I said before, sort of last word for the fans, it's been an emotional day for you, you can see it, but the fans have been there through thick and thin. You said it in the boardroom, there's been some wallopings that have not been nice, but they're always there at the end and always stood there applauding the team off and you off. You couldn't really ask for a better group of people to support you along the journey.
No, the fans have always been great, and they're great here, but it's when you go away and it's 40 or 50, they're hardcore in the away days, and I went to Clitheroe and we got absolutely battered. And the fans were there, applauding us off, coming speaking to me, wishing us well. We went to Northwich, 1874 Northwich in monsoon-like conditions, playing on a swamp, and got absolutely rolled. And they were all there at the end. Colin Bond stood on a table with a bucket on his head and a boombox, and went into the bar. I was embarrassed to walk in there, and just immediately came across and told us it doesn't matter, and we're there for us no matter what. And the fans they've always had that. We're here for you no matter. We're here through thick and thin. We support us for a reason. We fans for a reason, and they've been consistent. It's the only thing that has been consistent throughout 5 years. The team hasn't, in terms of personnel, in terms of performance, in terms of everything else. But those fans have been absolutely 10 out of 10, week in, week out, home and away, and they're probably the hardest thing to walk away from. You know, it's David Fisher's black and white army from the Park End. Hard to replace.
Yeah. And we move on to your final game, which sees us travel to Hanley. So I'm sure the dream for you was always to finish your last game with Mossley in Stoke. But thoughts on that one, and is it just about going out on a high now and just enjoying the day?
Yeah, there's something about Stoke. So I played my last ever game in non-league football was Curzon Ashton versus Newcastle Town, and Ben Richardson made his debut at right back and sold me short with a back pass that allowed them to score, so that didn't go great. This time going to Hanley, theatre of dreams. When I was growing up as a young boy, that's all I ever thought about was if I can get an appearance there as a manager or player at some point, I'll be delighted. I couldn't have written the script any better, really, could I? But no, it's the way it's been after the Lord Mayor Show. Today was kind of that dream fixture.
Yeah.
Hometown team I played for, team I was successful for as a player, huge crowd, and kind of everything that's gone with it afterwards as well. And the performance was superb. And what we've got to do is make sure we turn up and put that same level of work rate, attitude, performance in next week. And we beat Hanley, we sign off with a win, and that's got to be kind of focus on business now for next week after today, and then we can get the coach back and have a couple of drinks and celebrate things properly.
Thanks, David.
Cheers, Nathan.